From your position at the United Nations and your experience working with the Chinese government, and as you know, Chinese President Xi Jinping made food security a top priority, and climate change and environmental issues have been very much integrated into the overall development of China. So, how do you evaluate China's preparedness in addressing the food security problem caused by climate change?
Well, after being in China for several years now, I do agree with some of the remarks in your question. In my observations, the Chinese government has consistently made efforts ensuring agricultural and food security is a top national priority. Through comprehensive measures, grain output has remained above 1.3 trillion kilograms for 8 years in consecutive years. However, climate change does pose a threat to China's long-term agricultural development, like in many other countries. Addressing the climate change impacts, China has made strong political commitments in the national development planning for the 14th five-year period. Meanwhile, China 30-60 targets, along with these updated national determined contributions, set the goalposts for China's long-term climate ambition. It is nice to note that the administrative measures have been complemented by a significant public investment in support to programs to encourage development and adaptation on low carbon technologies. Specifically, in the agricultural sector, we are observing, to mention some specifics, a better management of farms, crops, livelihoods, agriculture, and capture fisheries to balance near-term food security and livelihoods that needs to be a priority in adaptation and mitigation. Number two, more efficient ecosystems and landscape management to conserve ecosystem services that are important, very important for food security, agricultural development, in adaptation and mitigation. Three, strengthen services for farmers and land managers to enable better management of climate risk impacts and mitigation actions. And I also mentioned number four, the change in the wider food systems, including demand-side measures and value chain interventions that benefit food security and sustainable agricultural development. Let me mention something also about FAO. At corporate level, the strategy on climate change will be implemented in the context of the strategic framework of organization 2022 to 2031. This aims to support the 2030 agenda to the transformation to more efficient, inclusive, resilient, and sustainable agri-food systems for better production, better nutrition, better environment, for a better life for everyone. FAO promotes climate smart agriculture, CSA, to help the people who manage agricultural systems respond effectively to climate change. The CSA approach pursues a triple objective of sustainably increasing productivity and incomes, adapting to climate change, and reducing greenhouse gas emissions wherever is possible. In the context of China, climate smart agricultural development has been reflected in our own FAO China country programming framework, our work plan for China until 2025. Together with the Ministry of Rural Affairs, local governments, academia, private sector, and the farming communities, we are implementing field projects and programs in this regard. I'm going to give you, if you allow me, two quick examples. Through a technical cooperation project, FAO, together with its partners, is developing, piloting, and extending a list of low-carbon precision dairy farming approaches of carbon emissions reduction and farm productivity, improvement of karst's ecosystem of Yunnan province, for example, with the aim to contribute to the resilient and sustainable development of the dairy section in local settings. And another example, funded this time in this case by the Global Environmental Facility, the GEF. FAO is working to mainstream on-farm conservation and sustainable use of traditional genetic diversity in 4 key indigenous crops, namely millets, oats, rice, and soybean, in support, again, of climate change adaptation and mitigation.